Yeah. Yeah. About time I got a little shine. I'ma let the world know about this town shit. Like when I had peas
All
and
right,
gave
everybody.
CPs to my brothers and my
We're
nieces and
here.
nephews.
It's Taped On Live. It's a episode week 7 review of the
Trouncing.
I was trying to trying to think of a good vocabulary word for that kind of beat down that we saw. I mean, it ended in a beat down.
It was
Um,
closer. It was closer until fourth quarter, and
till the
then
fourth quarter, yeah,
all
and
downhill from there. Yeah.
until the offense had that one mistake, and then it just exploded. So 45-20 loss to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. A lot of people are mad about this defense, but that's what we're here for. We give you guys a good breakdown, show you what happened offensively and defensively. You know what it is. It is the Mark John NFL at the Mark John NFL. Follow me on Twitter. Follow BD Williams at BD Williams 18 on Twitter. Make sure you subscribe to us. We definitely appreciate all the subscribers that we've been getting. Everybody showed love in the last video. Shout out all the Raiders fans. Shout out the Bucs fans that showed us love. We appreciate you guys checking it out and giving us some good comments and appreciating our breakdowns because I mean, we're presenting it as trying to beat you, and if you guys appreciate our breakdowns, I mean that's kind of a good thing to me. Uh, so we appreciate everybody who comes from everybody who wants to everywhere that wants to subscribe and listen. We're here to give you breakdowns, give you a whole bunch of different breakdowns, throughout the off season and the draft. So keep around for with us. Make sure you keep that subscribed. Don't unsubscribe from us. I see some people doing that. Don't do that. Just
Really,
stick with
you've
us.
seen that. You've seen
I've
people
seen
unsubscribe.
I've seen it. I've seen it in the stats, but it's all right. We're okay. We're okay. You keep pushing. You know what I'm saying? You keep pushing. So,
But
how you feeling after your tape review, BD? How you feeling?
you know, if I can get through that film study, I can get through anything. Okay, I'm a stronger man because of it.
Oh man, defense is definitely a problem
A
in this team, but
topic. Yeah.
another big problem for this team is the run blocking. I mean, there really is no run game right
Yeah.
now at all. And I know the Bucks are a super tough run defense, but the Bills aren't, and uh, I mean the Chiefs aren't the greatest run team either, but they did have some run success against the Chiefs. Uh, you
In the
know,
fourth quarter, yeah.
yeah, Josh Jacob had a great fourth quarter. I mean, and Devin Booker had a long run. So I mean, but this game, I mean, it was all on the passing offense, and the passing offense did all it could to keep the Raiders in this game. But it just wasn't enough for it to happen because, like I said, that last interception that bounced off Aguilar's hands and then bounced right into Antoine Winfield. It was bad luck, but that was the end of the game. And then it exploded 38-20, and then they had the turnover on downs, and it's 45-20. Yeah, so it just got ugly really, really quick. So I'll be going over the run game, and then we'll talk a little bit about the passing offense and a lot of some positive things I saw from Carr that I haven't seen in a while. So I'm gonna definitely go over some of those things. All right, so let's go ahead and just get into the offense. Let's just get into it.
Good thing, bro. See what you got.
All right, let's see what I got here, dog. All right, so we're gonna start off with the run game here, and which really struggled, and every single player struggled. There really wasn't a player or offensive lineman that had a good game. Now, you could say that it was practice, and I'm gonna show you a couple plays where I'm gonna be like, yeah, it probably was practice because there's a lot of miscommunications, a lot of problems on the offensive line in the run game, a lot of problems. I mean, they were pretty good in the pass game until, of course, John Simpson and them, the boys came in. But it was mostly positive from the pass pro perspective, but from the run game perspective, it wasn't. So we're going to start off with a split zone here, which you guys can see. So you got Darren Waller. He's going to come across the formation and block the other side, and then basically some zone blocking from every single lineman to the opposite side, right? And Josh Jacobs going to make a read off of this and decide whether to go up the middle. He's really not going to bust this one outside, but definitely can have an idea. Now, Denzel Good gets his butt whipped right here. As you can see, 58 is kicking Denzel Good's butt. Gabe Jackson is getting his butt kicked by Ndamukong Suh. Josh Jacob tries to do his best, ends up getting 4 yards. So we can go back a little bit and check it out one more time. Like I said, like I said, split zone. Denzel good. Just low man wins right there. He's just pad levels too high, hands inside, which allows the defense lineman to shed, and then Sue is just kicking Gabe Jackson's butt. There's no technique to be explained there. That's just a butt kicking. All right. So that is kind of a synopsis of how this line looked for most of this game. Let's just keep it real. So now we got outside zone, which you guys can see exactly what this is. There's it's kind of a three-way go on here. I mean, Jacobs can hit the hole, he can take it outside, or he can hit the cutback with outside zone, right? So we'll see how these linemen do. It's gonna look pretty ugly here. I'm gonna just gonna let you guys know. I'm gonna keep it real. It's not gonna be very pretty, but we're gonna run it. All right. So you can see Gabe Jackson is getting his butt whipped by 58 again. I don't know. He dominated. That's a great game. Sue is he's getting in there. Actually, sorry, that's Rodney Hudson getting his butt whipped. Sorry, by 58. That's Gabe Jackson, 93. Sue's dominating. And then you got Jason Witten, who can't handle Shaq Barrett, right? So that, like I said, let's run that back one more time. Just so you guys can just kind of an idea what Jacobs was running with. And I know some people said that Jacobs could have bounced this. And yeah, maybe if he was more decisive on the outside zone, which we've seen him, he could have just bounced this. But I think Shaq Barrett's still coming around, right? Shaq Barrett's still going to make that play. Everybody's still losing. Nobody's winning, basically. Nobody's winning on these lines. I mean, pads too high. Everybody's pads are super high. It's just ugly performance, right? So then we got outside zone here. Now this one trips me out because I think Sam Young thinks this is a pass play, and you tell me, BD. I mean, because everybody else is doing outside zone, and he goes into a pass set. So why is he going? Do you see that?
Yeah, that's not the right footwork.
Right?
You don't have to be an offensive line guru.
Which then messes up everything. So Gabe Jackson's off. He's getting his butt whipped. So Rodney Hudson misses his block. Everybody's off. Denzel Good is missing his block too. Like everything is messed up because Sam Young went backwards. Everything is messed up. Jacobs has nowhere to go. Nowhere to go on that one.
Sam Young blocked
let's run that back one more time.
On that play.
He blocked anybody because he seriously thought it was a pass play. Like I seriously believe that he thought this was a pass play.
He didn't get the audible is what it is.
Something. Which is that's missing Trent Brown, right? And that just messed up the whole play. Look at Gabe Jackson. What is Gabe Jackson doing? They're just like all over the place.
Yeah.
Like, and I really, Derek Carr brought up practice a lot in his press conference, and I think he has a point. I think that it was just, and I think Sam Young gets hurt on this play. I think it's the play he gets hurt on because exactly here's Brandon Parker's in right here. So now we got a little bit of a power run. I'm not gonna say it's duo because I don't want to be wrong. But there are some double teams. There's some ace blocks here. So, I'm not going to, the inside zones duo thing. This looks like duo. But, it could be just a simple power run.
Let's see if Carr reverse pivots. If he reverse pivots,
okay.
I'll say it's duo. Let's see.
Okay. Let's see.
Yep, that's duo.
Yeah, okay. So, but as you can see, Jason Witten is getting his butt kicked again, which he has been a liability in the run game like all year. I don't know why he's still out there run blocking. I don't know what tape that John Gruden's watching, but what happens here? Gabe Jackson's falling over. It was ugly. It was an ugly performance from this offensive line. Like they have to. I feel like next week that Jacobs gonna have like 200 yards because there's just you put this tape out there, like there's got to be some kind of pride to me. I feel like this tape is just not. It's not clean. Like I don't like we've been critical of Rodney Hudson and things like that, but it's never been this bad. Like what is Gabe Jackson? Like Gabe Jackson seriously falling over, and then Jason Witten is getting pushed right back into Jacobs before Jacobs can make a move or a decision. He has a hole that he probably could hit, but Jason Witten's in his way, so he has to avoid Jason Witten. Right, and it's over. And Pierre-Paul was already waiting for him. So it doesn't get any better, man. And then we got split zone here again. Guys missing blocks. It was just ugly, man. It was just ugly performance from the run game. So I mean, you definitely want to see more out of the run game going forward. I mean, we don't know exactly what we're gonna see. I mean, Jacobs looks like he's a little hurt. Hopefully Trent Brown gets back and they get back to outside zone because the game they ran the most outside zone and the game they had probably recently they had the most impressive uh, run performance, especially late in the fourth, was the Chiefs game, which Trent Brown played and they were able to run outside zone on 43% of their runs from my charting.
Mhm.
So I think that is something they got to get back to and get Trent Brown and then of course Incognito back and they can get back into that zone run game and I think everything will be fine. That's what I think is missing from this run game. One is practice. They need practice for sure, and all that other good stuff. But let's go ahead and get into Derek Carr, who kind of carried this offense and who has been carrying this offense for the past 3 or 4 games. Let's just keep it real. And this is one of my favorite plays from Derek Carr. So we got Nelson Aguilar. He's gonna be running like a quick post, and then we kind of have like a kind of a seam post route from Henry Ruggs, right? So it's the read is going to be based off the safety, which I'm going to talk about here is that if you see the safeties, looks like it's single high, right? It looks like a single high pre-snap, but it's not. So we got two high pre-snap, kind of a cover two look. Now, I want you to let's just I'm gonna stop this right here, right? And I kind of froze it already, but I'm gonna stop a little longer. Like I want you guys to realize like what Derek Carr is doing. So Derek Carr is already releasing this football. And this is 28-yard play to Nelson Aguilar. Like, where is Nelson Aguilar right now? He's nowhere near where Derek Carr is about to throw this football. And I was watching this and I was like, wow, I haven't seen Derek Carr anticipate in a while, which tells me a couple of things that he's starting to master this offense because he's able to anticipate and know when things are happening and where everything should be. And like two, we're getting back to the form of the quarterback that we used to see or that fans should be excited about. So I mean that is awesome. And then we're gonna see it again here. And the Bucs try to confuse Derek a lot. Like, Derek post snap, he's had his issues the past couple years. Teams try to confuse him, and that's what the Bucs came out to do. As you can see right here, this looks like cover one again. Looks like we got cover one. We're having four verts here, which is I love this play. I love four verts in this red zone. Love it. Love this play call. So we got four verts, and I want you to notice something that Derek Carr and Nelson Aguilar noticed together. As you see, Nelson Aguilar calls out the corner blitz that's coming from the slot, right? So what does that tell Nelson Aguilar and Derek Carr, right? From this look, that Nelson Aguilar is probably gonna have a one-on-one with one of these linebackers, right? Which he does, but the safety is rotating over the top. So if Derek Carr kind of just throws this right to where Nelson Aguilar should be, it's probably might be picked. But as you notice, he throws it back shoulder right to a perfect spot where only Nelson Aguilar can get it, which is just a great throw. That's throwing your receiver open. That's understanding. That's processing post snap. Like, you have no idea how excited I was when I was watching some of this stuff. Like, I watch quarterbacks a lot, and just to watch Derek, which he has struggled with post snap, kind of read these things with the blitz coming and throw it under pressure and throw it back shoulder. Money. Love it. Love it. All right. Now, we got another play here. We got kind of like a go route with a little bit of slower mixed in. It's interesting route concept here, and then we got a dig from Hunter Renfro in the middle, right? And of course, we're gonna have another safety blitz, but they're gonna corner blitz, sorry, from the slot, but they're gonna disguise it a little better this time, and then they're gonna do another uh, disguise too, where they switch coverages, right? Because it looks like we got cover one, right? Right. Oh no, we got a little. Is it too high? What is it? What are we doing? Right? What are we doing? But then they switch, right into cover three. But Derek Carr, he's calm, reads the field. Great route by Aguilar, throws a dime, 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 and that's what I'm talking about. That's post snap processing because he could have panicked, right? Because he could have panicked, thinking it's too high. That it's probably better to go to the dig with too high, right? He could have panicked. He could have, but he didn't. He stayed calm with the blitz, got hit, threw a dime. And that's what you want to see from Derek. And if we're getting that for the rest of the season, guys, I'm telling you, it's going to be hard for this team to not be in games late. Because if he's playing at this type of a level, you guys, it's a whole bunch of reason to be excited. And even with him rushing, right? We're talking about him running. The processing it takes to be able to run too, and know when to run, and know what's going on. Know Jacobs is supposed to be there for the block. Be able to call that out. Have a good feel in the pocket, and make a play with his legs. I mean, that's big time for what the Raiders want to do going forward. Because especially with the line, Colt Miller's getting beat there. He's still able to make a field, run out, and make a play, right? And it's 3rd and 7. This one was huge too. Big 3rd down. Nobody's open. Nice little pump fake. I guess he's been watching some Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers loves the pump fake before he runs. But you know what I'm saying? Like these type of things are reasons for to be excited about this offense. I mean, they can't run the football, and they were able to do pretty well against a team that put, everybody's god quarterback and had him looking like that he was like Andy Dalton or something, right? The week before. And Derek Carr is over here with these nice runs and having good runs back to back and making plays with his legs and throwing the ball downfield and anticipating and doing all these things that has got me super excited. I'm super excited watching that as a guy who loves watching quarterback play and just loves that type of process. And I haven't seen that from him in a long time. I'm not gonna lie, and that's since he's had he used to do stuff with Musgrave all the time. And when once he had that offense down, like he was able to anticipate and do all these different types of things. And I think some of that early on in the season, I think he was still trying to gain that confidence, but I think he's running this offense, this passing game. He knows everywhere to go. It's like it's not like even a couple times where he's locked on the receivers, like a play to Ruggs where he almost threw a pick to Aguilar with some under pressure. You probably should have came to Aguilar earlier. But I mean, he kind of locked on to Ruggs and I think he thought about just throwing it up to him, to be honest. Just giving him a chance. I think he thought about it and he came to Aguilar late, and he probably, as soon as the safety went back to Ruggs, it should have went straight to Aguilar in the dig. But I mean, from what I'm seeing, there's not a lot of, people complaining about him missing receivers downfield. We're not seeing that, right? There's a guy open. Derek Carr's going to find him at this point. If there's not a lot of him panic in the pocket, I didn't see him panic at all in this game with a great blitzing team that blitzed him still 20 times, 21 times. I mean, they weren't shy. They didn't shy away from blitz. And Carr, he was 12 of 18 against the blitz with threw like 2 touchdowns against the blitz. So I mean, like I said, that dime he threw to Aguilar, that was against the blitz. There's no panic right at him right now. We're not seeing the happy feet that maybe we saw previously. We're not seeing a lot of that from him right now. And who knows? That might creep back up. I'm not. I hope it doesn't. I'm not going to say that we're totally out the weeds with him moving forward as being the quarterback that fans want him to be, and the quarterback that I think right now he's the quarterback John Gruden wants him to be for sure. I think like him and Gruden are on the same page right now, which I think is a really good thing. And I think he knows what Gruden wants. Gruden knows what he wants. I think Gruden is taking suggestions from him, as you could see from the Chiefs game, where they had that little talk where they're like, do you trust me? Whatever, that kind of went viral type of thing. Do you trust me? Whatever. I think that dynamic between him and Gruden is what's making Carr feel more comfortable, allowing him to run more. And I think Gruden has more trust in him than he's ever had before. And I think that's helping a lot. And I think going forward, I think we're going to see better play from Carr going forward. That's what I think. And that's what I'm hoping. But we'll see.
Well, I'll say a couple things. So
Okay.
yeah, that is definitely very exciting. I'm glad that you broke that down the way that you did. The anticipation, all that stuff. Yeah, I agree. We haven't seen that in a while from Derek Carr, so that's definitely super encouraging.
Yeah.
I like how you added in the runs, because that I think that was a major factor in this game. Him scrambling, for some extra yards, for some first downs.
Yeah.
I know he got splattered on one, but also you gotta admire his heart, for going for it when he knows that guy. He knew that guy was coming, right?
Yeah.
So all that stuff is super encouraging. A lot of times people say, I guess there might be some people that are still saying it, but when we've seen the Raiders take a loss like this, people are still trying to find reasons to criticize Carr.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of times, rightly so, but you can't levy any of the blame on this loss on Carr. He had a really good game.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the ground game, it just hasn't been producing. After week one, it's been not good. So hopefully we see Incognito come back soon, Trent Brown come back next week. We start seeing the Raiders, gain a little bit more traction in the ground game because
Yeah.
right now that's what's missing because
Mhm.
it the passing offense is coming right now. It's doing a
Yeah,
really good job.
it
And I
is.
think a lot of this stuff that we are talking about, you're talking about the anticipation, right? You got
Mhm.
to trust your receivers to have anticipation,
Yeah.
you know. And kudos, credit to Nelson Aguilar for coming in and learning this offense during a COVID offseason. And Carr already has that trust in him where he can just throw it and know that Nelson Aguilar is going to be in that spot. On that first one that you showed us,
Timing.
right? So
The
that's
timing those two
big.
have is crazy.
That's
I,
big, and I think what was missing before was just that maybe Carr had that in him, but he didn't have the trust in his receivers to know it and have it down. So I think that also played into it.
yeah, and the timing that him and Aguilar have is crazy. I think like even like on the deep routes, the timing they have is perfect. The timing that they have on every route. I mean, even the route that Aguilar dropped late in on the drive of the field goal. I mean, even the timing of that play, that was great timing. Like, I mean,
Yeah,
it's interesting. It's just super interesting, and a lot of people like get on like, why aren't we throwing the ball to Ruggs? And it's kind of like, well, I mean,
right.
it's because Nelson's balling.
Nelly is balling.
And-
Nelly is balling right now, right? Why are you upset about this? Like
you know what I'm saying? And,
yeah,
that has a lot to do with it. It's not really have to do with Ruggs. It's more because Nelson Aguilar is the best wide receiver on this team right now.
I was
And
gonna ask you a question. So what I noticed watching the TV copy is I felt like they were doubling Ruggs a lot. Did you see that?
100%, they're all over him.
Yeah,
It was Carlton Davis over doubling him.
yeah,
And Carlton Davis, I mean, on the route, it didn't count because of defensive holding, but like it was the same crossing route they ran with Zay Jones against the Bills. And Carlton Davis, I don't know what Carlton Davis's 40 time is, but there was no separation there. It was just,
he was a mid 4.5 guy. Okay, so you
I mean,
don't 40 whatever. It checks a box. The guy can play. Okay, that's all that matters. All
I
right.
mean, I think the play was pass interference, but I mean, it was just such tight coverage. Like it was crazy to me that Ruggs didn't have a bad release, but Carlton Davis was just on his just clamps, and Carlton Davis is on him all game, most of the game.
Yeah,
Right.
I noticed that too. We were wondering if Carlton Davis is gonna follow on third downs, and he followed Ruggs. So that's interesting.
That's very interesting. And like seriously, every time Ruggs would run a deep route, and I think the only time that they didn't, but even then, when Carr threw a deep route to him, there wasn't a lot of room for Carr to get that ball into. It would have had to been a dime, and if he did drop it in the bucket, the Ruggs would have got murdered straight up like that, because that's how they were looking at Ruggs. Everything was about Henry Ruggs. You weren't throwing the deep to Ruggs today.
Hmm.
And it was interesting, and why I was impressed by how Carr played, because I really feel like they felt like that they could embarrass Derek Carr by doing those coverages and make him throw some interceptions, make him throw a lot of picks, and like forcing a panic with the pressure that they apply. And Derek Carr stepped up to the challenge, and he didn't get flustered. So I was
Yeah.
impressed by that, because the only pick he threw, that was pass interference too. I'm not gonna lie, but it did bounce off Aguilar's hands, and then it was picked on a good interception by Antoine Winfield.
Yeah.
So Carr never panicked when under pressure. He never panicked when John Simpson came in. He could have started panicking at that point because he had every single reason to. He didn't panic.
Yeah.
So I was really impressed by this performance by Carr. And I know a lot of people like to love the Chiefs game, but this performance in this game, which I think the Chiefs game kind of gave me like a highlight because the Chiefs gave him some easy plays and he made them, right?
Right.
But the Bucs did not give him easy.
Yeah,
They didn't.
Level of difficulty was definitely tougher in this game. 100%.
100%. And that Aguilar play, bro. Like a lot of quarterbacks, a team going single high and then switching to two high like that, and having linebackers going into those zones, and especially when you're playing with a single high beater route concept. I mean, because that's a route concept. It's not a cover two beater. It's a cover one beater, cover three, right? And just for that concept, and to know when they switch to coverage that you can still hit that middle of the field. I mean, that was impressive. So I was a lot of positives for the passing offense for sure going forward.
For sure. Well, all right, man. That was great. That was a great breakdown, man. That was really good. I hope I hope that when this offensive line gets back to being healthy, fans can keep on saying that this is a top 10 offensive line, but we haven't seen that since week 11 of last year. So
we haven't seen it in a long time. I mean, they still pass block pretty decent. I'll give them that.
Okay.
But
yeah,
the run blocking was embarrassing. The run blocking was it was embarrassing. Like they got embarrassed. Let's just keep it real. They got embarrassed on the defense side, on the offensive line in the trenches. Like, and it could go into them not practicing, and I kind of understand that by some of the clips that I saw. But hopefully this week they could just bounce back on that premise, because like I said, man, to put that on tape, there's no way that if I'm Tom Campbell, I'm eating them alive on Monday. That's all I'm saying.
Oh yeah, all of them.
All of them. You might have to do some up downs or something. I might make them do some up downs. I'm just saying.
Yeah, right. Some gassers. Some
gassers, some up down. That might be in the CBA though, or something. Like you can't give up downs.
You can't. Yeah, no up downs. It's definitely
no up
the CBA.
Downs. It's definitely the CBA. All right, bro. So the run game was depressing. I gave some positivity with the passing game a little bit. How about you depress us a little bit with that defense here?
All right, man. You're asking for it. Okay. Look, don't say I didn't warn you. Okay. I mean, here's the thing with the defense. I mean, obviously, Paul Gunther, he's been struggling all year. He's been struggling for 3 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
And John Gruden said they're going to make some changes, and obviously, you don't have to be an educated Raiders, fan to know that they need to make some changes. Okay, but let's just go over some things that are very alarming, very concerning for me. So we said it on the podcast. If they get into single high, it was going to be a problem. Okay. And they ran this over route against single high. This is a single high beater. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You got safety in the middle of the field. And they ran this over route and literally completed it like 5 times for like hundreds of yards against these guys. Okay. The Raiders had no answer, no adjustment that was made at any point in the game to take this away. Okay. And it didn't matter if it was Lamarcus Joyner in man on the over route. It didn't matter if it was Jeff Heath in man on the over route, if they were playing cover 3. Okay. They had no answer for it. All right. So that's really upsetting. And this was on the final drive that not the final drive, but the drive where they extended their lead in the fourth quarter. That kind of put the game away.
Mm-hmm.
And the upsetting part about this is that they have adjusted to this in the past. Here we got cover 3 and we got Eric Harris on the backside carrying that over route. Here we have another cover 3 adjustment that they made where John Abram nails down on the crosser. So they've done it before, but for some reason they never adjusted through all 4 quarters. Another thing is when Paul Gunther he's very predictable, and they like to run single high man coverage when it's a 3rd and short. Okay, and they hit him with these man beaters where the outside receiver in the little stack in the bunch goes inside or outside, and takes advantage of the leverage of the defender who's manned on him. Okay, and so we see LaMarcus Joyner get victimized here a couple times. All right, and let's just talk about this real quick. Okay, now what they could have done is they could have done what's called a banjo technique, where the inside defender, who is Isaiah Johnson, would take the slant, and then LaMarcus Joyner would then go take the most most receiver, who was Mike Evans. Okay, so they could have banjoed this. All right, and even if they hit him with a little banjo beater, where the outside receiver goes in, then he goes back out, that's fine. At least show that you're gonna adjust. But they literally never did. They never made. That's part of the cat and mouse game, and they never made the adjustment. Okay, so they just allowed them to continue with these man beaters. They played lock instead of banjo. They took advantage of them the entire game with these man beaters on 3rd and shorts. Okay, and you see here, Trayvon Mullen, he has to fight through all these guys to get to his man.
Sorry, but it's just crazy watching. This is like Josh McDaniels' offense, which is just interesting. But keep going. Sorry.
Yeah,
that's just I've never seen Bruce Arians run the spot concept that they just ran right there, but that's something they ran all the time in New England.
And it's like it's the deep overs of Bruce Arians, right? The deep passing game of Bruce Arians, and then the 3rd down package, 3rd and short package when you need it, of Tom Brady. So it's a perfect marriage in this game. At least it showed, and we're just had no adjustments for it.
Wow.
And the most upsetting part about this is every NFL defense has a banjo technique. Okay, the Raiders have a banjo technique that I can show Paul Gunther's playbook now without people getting upset at me, because he's probably going to get canned after this year. So who cares? All right, but the Raiders have an adjustment, and they've run it before. We see here they're banjoing on the 2-man stack. Okay, where the safety takes the outside receiver, and the Joyner, who's on the outside, takes the inside receiver. So they've done it before, but they just didn't do it during that game. They never adjusted. Now the next part is the pass rush. Okay, and we talked about this before. We were worried that they would go back to trying to stop the run on 1st downs, and we see it here. Our interior defensive linemen, they are not rushing the passer here. They are trying to build a wall. They're getting their hands on their guys, okay, in front of them, and they're not getting any penetration, okay, and Brady then has a clean pocket to work with, right? This is another example. They get a little run action. Okay, so watch the defensive line. Are they rushing the passer at all? No, they're worrying about the run. Okay, and I think that they really took advantage of the Raiders' tendencies to worry about the run, and so they hit him with this play action, knowing well on early downs that they were going to have a clean pocket for Brady to work with. Okay, and I mean, come on, he's just literally standing there flat-footed and just waiting for the right time. Okay, so we were worried about it, and it happened. Now, let's go back to what they did against the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay, same situation, 1st down. Okay, we're going to see a run action. Watch Kendall Vickers here. Does he play the run? No, he's just rushing. So they do it. They've done it. Okay, but they didn't do it this game, right? So again, the frustrating part about watching this is adjustments that they made in the past, they did not make. Okay, now even in an obvious passing situation, a 2nd and long or a 3rd and long, okay, where they get into their pass rushing front, okay, and they're gonna blitz. Brady's a magician. Okay, he got this ball out in under 2 seconds. He's finding his hot route. Okay, and he did a great job of knowing exactly where he needed to get the ball out and get it out quick. Again, 1.81 seconds from snap to the ball leaving his hands. Okay. And here, they're not lined up yet, and he snaps it and he gets the ball out. Okay. So Brady was a magician, and he's a hard guy to sack, right? So that played into it. The techniques that Paul Gunther was asking his defensive lineman to do was playing into it. So there was a lot. And another thing I didn't show was, just incredible offensive game planning and execution from the Buccaneers. Was if they would go run, pass, meaning first down was run, second down was run, and now they're in a third and long situation. Okay. And they would go hurry up to prevent the Raiders from subbing in their pass rushing defensive lineman.
Oh, God. They put that on tape.
Okay. So it's Jonathan Hankins in the game still on third and long.
That is genius, bro.
Okay.
I can't. Shout out Byron Leftwich, bro, because I'm not gonna give Bruce Arians that. I'm gonna give that to Brian Leftwich. He's a young guy.
But literally every little nuanced thing that they could have done to take advantage and stop them from getting too much pressure on, they did, right? And on early downs, or I'm sorry, on obvious passing downs, Brady just got the ball out quick, And when they really needed him to hold on to the ball, it was always run, hurry up, don't let him sub, hike the ball quick before they're lined up, and now he has that cleaner pocket to work with on the third down, right? So again, they had an excellent game plan against the Raiders defense. They made all the adjustments, and there was even stuff that I wouldn't even have time to put into an entire breakdown of all the things that they did. They were putting three receivers on the short side of the field. So if the ball's on the left hash, okay, they had three receivers to the left, okay? And that means LaMarcus Joyner, he goes to the passing string, right? He was over there on the short side of the field, and then they would motion receiver over to the wide side of the field, and now Corey Littleton has to bump out on that guy, right? Again, we saw the Bills take advantage of them doing this, putting formation into the boundary. Okay, so really the Raiders were playing checkers, Buccaneers were playing chess. They did not adjust to anything the entire game. Okay, and yeah, I mean, right? It's like if Paul Gunther is still the defensive coordinator, all right, I'll put that in air quotes. Okay. The only way that we're going to actually see like a real change is a philosophical change, and that's going to be coming from another coach, Marinelli, or how much Gruden wants to get involved in it, right? And the last thing I'll talk about too, that 3rd and 13, everyone's upset about. They go, why were they in zone? That was actually a good play call. Okay, they're playing cover 6. So they were playing a quarters concept. Some people call it stump. Some people call it special, where they're playing basically man on the outside receiver, and now you got like a 3-man triangle on the 2 receivers left over to the field, and then they're playing cover 2 to the boundary. All right, and this is their best pass coverage. All right, and what they were doing, and it worked against Patrick Mahomes because Patrick Mahomes would not check down. Right, he was trying to force it deep. Okay. But they didn't. Brady didn't take that cheese, and he checked it down. And the situational awareness now of Nicholas Morrow, who was in the game, and Corey Littleton, who probably dropped too deep, okay, to not be able to come up and make a tackle short of the sticks on 3rd and 13 when it was a dump off pass. That's on the players. So some of this is on the players.
Yeah.
Okay. So a lot of it is on the coaching and the defensive game plan and never adjusting to anything. Right. But it's just like every single way that the Raiders could have been beat, they got beat. Obviously, they had some interesting run stops when they were blitzed the run, and they had some success doing that. But when when immediately after they just throw a 26-yard deep cross on you, like who cares, right? People are going to forget about maybe some positive snaps against the run, when you're getting torched like that through the air.
Yeah.
So I mean, I could go on and on and on and on. That's just what I wanted to show. The viewers here. There just weren't any adjustments from the defense.
So it's interesting that you brought up, the rush pass thing, because I think their tendency, they really played into that tendency, because going into this game, right? I mean, I talked about on the preview podcast how the Bucs passing game isn't really their strength; it's the running game.
Right.
So when you talk about you're playing into that run pass, right? It's like they're playing into the Raiders' tendency to overly play the run with a great running team. And since they overly play the run, they're going to have those big run guys in on first and second down. And then when they rush to do no huddle on third down, that's crazy, man. And that's pretty genius. That's pretty genius of a game plan. But my scary thing about that, and maybe why the schematic change needs to be made, it's like teams are gonna. That's how easy is that to copycat? That's like one of the easiest things to copycat that I've heard. Like, okay, so if we run, and then we're gonna have an easier third down with no pass rush if we rush to the line and do that. And
Yeah.
offensive coordinators are too smart these days. Like that is going to be copied for sure. So that has to be a change. And that whole like stop the run on first down type of thing, a lot of teams in the NFL are not doing that. They're not like having that.
Yeah.
Let's stop the run,
I mean, the
setting the
Raiders
edge type of thing.
the Raiders didn't do it against Kansas City Chiefs, and that's how they won. So I guess they forgot. You know, um,
It's ridiculous.
it's upsetting. I understand. Like, I used to coach high school football. I'm hoping I can get back to that soon. Soon. You won't see me on this podcast if I can do it. My wife wouldn't let me do both. Right.
I'll be
But
solo.
as we'll get you another co-host, man.
Okay.
No, but that's far. That's far in the future. We'll see.
Okay.
I got to tell my boss, hey man, during the football season, I got to leave at 2:30 every day. We'll see if he likes that.
Okay.
I don't know. So probably
I
won't
don't
happen.
think so either.
Yeah, but just playing football my whole life into college, coaching, high school football, stopping the run. You got to do it. You got to stop the run.
Yeah.
Right. But I just think that the way that Paul Gunther is asking it to be done in a passing league, when the quarterbacks are the marquee players in this league. Okay, people say running backs don't matter, right? You can agree with that, you can disagree with that, but you got to affect the quarterback to win in the NFL on
100%.
defense. You got to affect him, and
100.
you see some teams who have a lot of turnovers, have a lot of interceptions, and maybe they're not great against the run. Okay, but the way that they create all those things is they just rush the passer the entire game. Okay, they don't even worry about having big run stoppers. That guy's on the bench until like a 4th and 1 situation or a goal line situation. Then they'll sub that guy in, right? But everyone's rushing the passer. They're affecting the quarterback. Sometimes they get gashed in the run. All right, but they make up for it by getting sacks, forcing fumbles, creating turnovers, and the Raiders don't do that just because they don't rush the passer. And that's how you get that an interception, is by you speed that process up. You make that quarterback make a mistake, but the Raiders don't have enough pressure, and this is not an indictment on the players. Okay, this is an indictment on what they're being asked to do and the philosophy. That's what the problem is. So
yeah, and to that point, like that's my thing is the philosophy. Because I mean, when I went and watched a lot, I was doing my little rookie breakdowns in the summer. I mean, I noticed what you're talking about. I'm like, man, they on first down, if you play action and try to throw them on the first down, it's like it's there because they're not rushing the passer on first down, and it was glaring to me, like what was happening. So it is a philosophy, like and it kind of speaks to, do we know some of these guys' potential that we're talking about? Like we people talk a lot of crap about Cleveland Farrell, but if Cleveland Farrell asked to, pin his ears back and rush the passer. Like we kind of saw what his ability is when that happened. When that he was asked to just rush the passer every single down, and he still was able to be a good run defender in that game too. So it's like that philosophy is just not dated for today's NFL
It doesn't work.
because the best teams that stop the pass, I mean, they are going to win these games. And we talked. I mean, the Raiders were able to pass all over the Chiefs, and I've been getting crapped on for saying the Chiefs defense is really good, but the Chiefs have not. The last two games they lost, they have allowed 17 and 16 points, and they can't stop the run for nothing. So it's, you know what I mean? Like
They don't care.
they don't care. Go ahead, run the football. You can't
Yeah.
score points running the football today. Go
Like
ahead.
if you want to run the football 30 times when we have Patrick Mahomes scoring in 4 or 5 plays, okay, go ahead.
Go ahead. You know what I mean? Like, so it's
Yeah.
it's interesting. You
That
just that philosophy.
right now the best teams do this, where they're not they're all they're trying to do is affect the quarterback, and I think it, like, say the Raiders were going up against a team, just throw a hypothetical out here, where you got like a rookie or a backup quarterback who just came in, and you have like a fantastic back. Okay, that's a scenario where now it's time to focus on stopping the run,
Yeah.
because like that's going to be their bread and butter, right? But I mean, basically every quarterback that we've seen so far this year, right, has been really good. Like Teddy Bridgewater is having a fantastic year. And the list goes on. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Drew Brees, Tom Brady. Like the Raiders have played some Hall of Fame quarterbacks. You got to just bother them.
Yeah.
And when your entire defensive line is going left, worrying about stopping the run, and Tom Brady just standing there flat-footed with all the time in the world to throw, like how are you going to win like that? This is the GOAT, what we're talking about right here. So you got to get into his head. So yeah.
I mean, the first like mediocre quarterback we're actually facing is Baker Mayfield this week, which I'm probably which if they get torn by Baker Mayfield, I'm done. I'm not even gonna talk about. I'm done with the season. I'm done.
Baker Mayfield will, unless some wholesale changes are made, Baker Mayfield will torch this offense.
I will be upset.
Yes.
That's all I'm gonna say. Like you should not get torched by Baker Mayfield either. It's such easy to game plan to beat him that if you get torched by him, I'm done.
No.
He's got to be fired. Like you gotta fire both those guys. If Baker Mayfield comes out, because he's only torched the Bengals.
Yeah, so far.
so far, he's had 2 good games this year, like really good games, and they both been against the damn Bengals. So like that's what I'm saying. Like this.
I'm afraid of Cleveland. Obviously, OBJ went down, so that's gonna make it easier to. But I also think what we've seen in the past, they do better without Odell Beckham Jr. because they're not trying to force him the ball all the time, and then their offense opens up. So I'm a little worried, and they're 5-2. I thought people said that the schedule was going to get easier after the bye. When do people? When is it going to get easier?
The point is here is that the Browns. I mean, we'll get into this on Friday, but the Browns haven't really beat anybody that is like the teams that the Raiders have beat. Like, I don't know if the Browns could beat those teams, and that's my thing going into this game is like, yo, this is the first mediocre team that we've played besides the Panthers.
They're 5-2, Marcus. Come on.
They're mediocre though. They're mediocre though. Like, I'm telling you right now that they are mediocre. You're gonna get into the film. You haven't gotten to their film, BD. That's what I'm gonna tell you. You haven't gotten to their film. You haven't gotten to their film yet. I have watched Baker Mayfield this year. I've watched it. I do my quarterback podcast. I've watched Baker Mayfield, bro. Like this is gonna be the defensive test. Like if he just goes out there and he tears them up, I'm going to be upset because there's a lot of tendencies that he has that you should be able to play into. Like if they let him roll out and just tear them up outside the pocket, I'm done. I'm not gonna Like,
Bro, we've seen it. Paul Gunther doesn't adjust.
but that's what I'm saying. But like, if that happens, I'm gonna be so done. Like, I'm gonna go on a rant, bro. Like, you cannot.
How about this? This is the saddest part about this is the game that saved him, right? Since
Yeah.
the Kansas City Chiefs game, he didn't adjust. He called the same cover 6 the entire second half. It was just the same coverage over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Like, so it just ended up working like the game. Like, if a game plan works, which is rare, okay, it only seems to work against AFC West opponents.
Yeah.
For Paul Gunther. But if a game plan works, it works. If he has to adjust, it doesn't work. And like he does not make the adjustments. He doesn't tell his guys, okay, hey, we're gonna start doing this differently or this different. Like, he does not make in-game adjustments. So I'm until we see him start, or until we see the defense, not even Paul Gunther, like whatever Paul Gunther at this point, like he's just going to be a figurehead until the end of the year, I'm guessing, and then take a sabbatical so that Gruden can say he never fired anyone. But I mean, until I start seeing this defense make adjustments, some people have been like, why doesn't BD smile more on the pod? If you watch this defense every single play 5-6 times, so I can like chart everything, okay? If you watch this defense every week like I did, okay, you would not smile either. All right. So don't start with me with like, why don't you think that the Raiders can win every game that we're in? Be a fan. Like, don't start with me. Okay. All right. Obviously, I want the Raiders to win, but come on, man. Like, what I'm seeing, you're seeing good film. I'm seeing like what is going on here on my end. So
I'm getting the positivity over here. See, there's a reason why I'm the positive guy and BD's not. Because if we switched, I would be the negative guy and BD would be the positive guy.
Right. So exactly.
I get it.
Yeah. So that's everything I got. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. We'll save the Cleveland stuff for Friday, so I can actually have an informed.
That's all.
Opinion
I'm just gonna tell you that, bro. Just next week when we record this, that if we come in and they get their butts whipped by the Browns and Browns just go up and down the field, I'm gonna be breaking stuff because I garbage. I'm into that right now. I think he's absolutely.
Bro, don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say it.
It's my opinion. If you're a good defense, that you should be able to make him look like.
We are not Raiders do not have a good defense. Okay, so don't.
I know that, but it's how bad is your defense if you make him look good? That is just my opinion.
Yeah,
I'm gonna stick to that opinion. I mean I don't know what breakdown you're gonna do for the preview, but I'm probably gonna voice that opinion again. I'm just gonna let you know. Okay.
All right. We'll see about that. We'll see.
I think he is like the 27 to 32 quarterback range. That's kind of where I feel about him. So I don't I swear if he tears them up, I will be breaking my TV. I think I'm gonna be so mad. I'm not even gonna lie with you guys right now. I'm gonna be mad. I'm gonna be like really mad. Like, we'll talk about it though. We'll talk about it.
I don't have faith.
I know you don't, but my whole faith is just like this dude. He's just if you keep him in the pocket, he's not gonna do anything. So like it's kind of.
Yeah, we'll see. One thing I will say, because I mean I have to be hard on the defense. They rarely have good performances here, but I do like the majority of the players. And I think that if they can be used differently.
Oh, 100%. I agree with that.
I think 100%. That because like look at Trayvon Moore, and maybe we're running low on time here.
Yeah,
but a lot of fans, they see the pass breakups, which obviously that's a mark of a good corner. When you get challenged, you rise to the occasion and you prevent these passes from getting completed. But he also, he's not playing like at a Pro Bowl caliber level like some fans think. He gives up quite a few catches, and yards and stuff like that. He has a couple touchdowns. I think he has 3 touchdowns that he's given up this year, right? Which is the most of any Raiders corner. Okay. Yeah. And Paul Gunther's scheme, he has to play man off or cover 3, and he's like a 6'1", 6'2" guy, long leggy corner, like, physiologically. your feet are not going to be able to get in and out of the ground when you have that the long legs like that to break, right? When you're playing off,
Yeah.
use that length and have these guys press. And it's just Paul Gunther's scheme. He goes, oh, you know what? But in this situation, we need to play off. And I know every corner, Jalen Ramsey, Patrick Peterson, big corners who are press corners, Stephon Gilmore, the press corners, you're going to have to obviously play off. But it's just like, it's more rare to see Trayvon Mullen in a true press technique now this year for some reason, right? Than actually playing. Than he plays press more rare than he plays off, and I just think it should be the other way around. I think it should be just like a change up, occasional. He'll play off, but most of the time play press, and he'd be doing even better right now. So I don't get it, but they're not putting guys in good situations to take advantage of the talents in this defense, in my opinion. If it's pass rush, okay. If it's the secondary, whatever it is, we just see these guys struggle with consistency every week. So I like the players. I don't like the scheme.
100%, and I agree with that, man. I think when people say there's no talent on a defense, I think that's a little crazy. I think there's talent for sure, and I think there's actually more talent than we've seen in a long time on the defense. It's just the scheme sucks. I mean, you're not gonna say it sucks.
I've talked to you about this before, and you can disagree with me. Anyone can disagree with me. That's fine. I don't believe in talent disparity in the NFL. I think if you made it to the NFL, you're an incredible athlete. Okay,
Yeah.
and the difference is coaching, the techniques that guys are actually teaching you who have been around the game
Yeah.
for such a long time that they can tell you that the situation awareness, those things make great offenses, great defenses. Okay, not talent. All right. So, I mean, otherwise Julio Jones would, be winning Super Bowls every other year. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Aaron Rodgers would have, 5 Super Bowl rings if it was all about talent. It's not about
Mhm.
talent. So I don't believe in the whole talent disparity thing. It comes down to coaching. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that.
All right, man. So yeah, good stuff, man. Going over all that defense. I know that's rough, breaking all that down and charting that. So I definitely understand that. So it's like me charting the 2018 Raiders offense. I get it. All right, so all right, Doc. So we appreciate you guys listening to us, checking us out every single week. That's our breakdown for this week. For the we're gonna be back giving you the preview for the Browns. We already gave you a little taste of my thoughts of what's gonna happen, and will be these thoughts. But make sure you hit the subscribe button. Subscribe. Check us out every single week. We're giving the previews, we're giving you the breakdowns, we're giving you a little side videos. So hit the subscribe button. Follow me on Twitter at @DMarkJohnNFL. Follow BD Williams at BD Williams 18 on Twitter. Make sure you guys follow us there. We post stuff there as well. Post stats, whatever we want to post on Twitter. So make sure you guys follow us there too as well. And like I said, hit the subscribe button. Subscribe. Keep this channel growing. We appreciate all the loyal followers we do have. We appreciate every single one of you guys. All right. Any last thoughts, BD?
That's it, guys. Thanks. Tape don't lie.
Tape don't lie, guys. All right. We'll see you next week. Or sorry, we'll see you for the preview show. All right. Peace out.